Hello, everyone. My name is Tom Vasella, and this is my Building Organizational Capacity application to the Moore Park Community College Athletic Department Study Hall Initiative. So, a couple of months ago, upon learning about the demands of student athletes at the Division I level, the school's athletic director set out to create a program that would prepare student athletes for the higher levels while ensuring academic success for athletes. Essentially, at every Division I school, every athletic team is mandated to participate in study hall hours. So, taking our cue from the Division I's, at our community college level, we figured that we should mirror their behavior in order to help prepare the students for the next level. Athletes from both the baseball and softball teams were required to log 2 hours each week in the school's learning center. If necessary, students could take advantage of the school's several tutoring services, but it was not mandatory. Essentially, we had to have our players report to the Student Learning Center and be there for a total of 2 hours each week. At the end of the week, weekly reports of the students' hours were sent to the respective coaching staffs. This was in line with the entire mission of Moore Park Community College. Our school's mission statement states that with a student-first philosophy, Moore Park College empowers its diverse community of learners to complete their goals for academic transfer, basic skills, and career technical education. Moore Park College integrates instruction and student services, collaborates with industry and educational partners, and promotes a global perspective. Part of this initiative was the school's vision. Now, the school vision statement states that we value learning environment that embraces innovative thinking, a culture of creativity, and excellence through community, integrity, dialogue, access, responsibility, and citizenship. This study hall initiative was designed with the vision of our school in mind. So we're going to take a look at this initiative through TOMA's Building Organizational Capacity lens. Essentially, it is a strategic management model that is specific to higher education that enables leaders to more straightforwardly capture the entire complexity of the organizations as systems in which they work. There are 8 elements within TOMA's BOC model. First is purposes. That is the mission and aspirations of the lived within the institution. The structure, which is how an institution is configured to work, the organizational hierarchy of the institution, if you will. Governance, which is who is involved in the decision-making process. Policies, the formal and informal rules within any organization. The processes, which is not to be confused with policies, they are dealing with action. They are the outputs of the organization. Information, that is the generation, dissemination, and assimilation of facts and figures needed to inform and support decision-making in an organization. There's also infrastructure, which is the physical makeup of the institution that handles the flow of it. And then culture, last but certainly not least. Culture is the essential character of an institution embodied in its shared norms, values, and beliefs. So we're going to take a look at this initiative through each one of these 8 elements and connect them all to each other. Really, the purpose of this initiative is to reaffirm the term student athlete. As a baseball coach, people forget that what we really do on this campus is they are students first and athletes second. So it is important for us to really understand that, yes, a majority of our players came here to play baseball or softball, but they're getting an education at the same time. The purpose of our athletic department is to offer state-of-the-art facilities and a stepping stone to the next level, but it's also to give them a stepping stone into life and to prepare them for the world outside of athletics. So how is this going to work? What is the structure? How is this configured to actually be successful? In other words, what is the means of organization or the hierarchy of this institution? It's important to note that the athletic department is a completely separate structure than the rest of the campus. It is its own unique beast that has its own set of structure and operations that is unlike any other thing on campus. It's actually makes sense because the athletic facilities are separate at the bottom of the hill that are pretty far away from the rest of our academics. So what this program is trying to do is it's trying to connect the structure of the athletic department to an already established school structure in the learning center. A majority of our players didn't even know that we had these options available to them, that these are support services that can actually help them in their academics. Really, this is a way to connect these two. The Moorpark College Athletic Department contains 750 student athletes across 15 different sports, making it the largest department on campus. With that being said, to handle such a load, you have coaches, athletic trainers, equipment managers, counselors, athletic directors, administrative assistants, and each one plays a role in the overall success of the student athlete. That structure is set up to juggle the many intricacies that are involved in collegiate athletics. So what we're hoping for is that the learning and tutoring center can actually provide a little more structure for the students in order for them to attain academic success. Governance, which is TOMA's third element. It's those who are involved in the decision-making process. It's governed actually by the coaching staffs of the respective teams. Right there in the bottom is our head coach, Mario Porto, and he is responsible for governing and overseeing his baseball players and their academic success. So in most instances in athletics, the coaches hold all of the power. They're the ones who can take away playing time. They're the ones who can institute extra conditioning. They're the ones who can let the team take care of, have the social aspect of the team kind of control a player's actions and whatnot. So it's probably the smartest move in order to have the coaches in charge of getting these kids to go to study hall each week. 2 hours is not a lot, but if you're a college student and you're asking them to do all of these things at the same time when you're 18 and your brain really doesn't function properly, this is an easy way to make things get done. The decisions are involved by the coaches, who pretty much are the only person on a campus that can motivate its athletes correctly. So next are the policies for this study hall initiative, and the policies for this program are fairly straightforward. The formal and informal rules within any organization. It's mandated that student athletes take 2 hours of study hall each week. They can take advantage of the several services. It is optional tutoring. It is optional for them to actually seek help, but it's designed for having a designated time for them to perform schoolwork on campus in an environment that will ensure their academic success. These informal understandings are a product of the culture and tradition within the organization. It produces an unwritten yet quite meaningful expectation and practices. Next are processes, which are not to be confused with the policies. That is a common misconception. They are the outputs. They are the means of an operation. They're about action. In other words, they move things forward. It is if you look at strategy versus tactic. When you think of a strategy, your strategy is more broad, like, well, I'm going to keep the ball away from this individual. But your tactic is, how are you going to do that? I'm going to do X, Y, and Z in order for my strategy to be successful. And that's essentially what your processes are. So the processes for this one are how these students go about getting in there. And is it something that can actually help them and is actually within their wheelhouse? Is it something that they're able to accomplish and do? This one is right in the middle of campus. The processes involved in getting our players there is very simple and an easy way for them to meet their new responsibility. TOMA's sixth element is information. And, as stated before, it's the generation, dissemination, and assimilation of the facts and figures needed to inform and support decision-making within an organization. Really, you got to unpack the data. Information really is used to inform policies and procedures while also reaffirming an institution's mission and aspirations. So, furthermore, information generated and communicated within decision support mechanism suggests the available tactics leaders and senior management can use to address a given situation. You can't have too much information. It is probably the best tool in helping come up with the proper decision-making process. According to our AD, studies have shown that simply designating a set time and place on campus for focusing on schoolwork improves academic success by nearly 50%. Furthermore, 70% of student athletes surveyed strongly agreed that having a study hall program in place improves schools' performance. Recently, we just had a student athletes scholarship awards banquet where we recognized all the student athletes that had above a 3.7, and we were very happy to know that over 60% of the participants of baseball and softball actually were invited and recognized at this award ceremony. The next element is infrastructure. Now, infrastructure is a couple of things. It's the physical makeup of an institution that handles the flow and traffic, but it's the capital. Can it handle all of the things and the inner workings that go around it? Yes, infrastructure is often seen as a facility. Is it a brand new building? Is that our brand new library building that's in the picture below? Or is it the way in which things can handle the flow? Like, for instance, are there enough tutors? Is there an infrastructure of enough tutors and assistants to help these athletes as they come into the Learning Center? Yes, there are. It actually fits perfectly. The Learning Center is free for all students, and this influx of athletes actually positively affects the tutors and the library itself. The last element in TOMA's building organizational capacity model is culture. That is the essential character of an institution embodied in its shared norms, values, and beliefs. Culture is the catch-all. Culture speaks to everything, and it is a guide in sense-making, and it defines your authority. We want to promote a culture of success. We want to promote a culture of academic success, as well as on the athletic fields. It's important for us to know that our athletes are in line and going to Moore Park College with the intent of actually getting their degrees and going on to a 4-year institution and not just playing sports at the junior college level. So in conclusion, the alignment of all 8 elements ensures the success of the program. TOMA's organizational capacity model is an administrative foundation that's essential for establishing and sustaining the success of an initiative. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I look forward to the rest of this year.